Have you ever crawled into bed after a long day, feeling that sweet wave of tiredness sweep over you, only to find yourself up again once, twice, maybe even 3 times, fumbling through the dark toward the bathroom? If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. Nighttime bathroom trips are something so many folks over 70 quietly deal with. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal, and it sure doesn't mean you're stuck with it forever. Let's be real, sleep is sacred. At this stage in life, you've earned every peaceful night you can get. You've spent decades working, raising families, helping others. Now, when you finally have the time to rest, your bladder decides to throw a party at 2 a.m. Not cool, not fair, and definitely not something you just have to put up with. See, waking up frequently to pee during the night, what doctors call Nocturia, can seem like just another part of aging. But the truth is, there are daily habits that can make a huge difference. Little things, simple changes. You don't need expensive pills or complicated routines. You just need to know what actually helps. And that's what we're diving into today. So get comfy, maybe grab a warm drink, and let's talk about some gentle but powerful habits you can start doing today. Yes, even tonight. That could help you sleep longer, deeper, and with fewer nighttime bathroom runs interrupting your well-earned rest. Let's begin with something many people overlook: hydration. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I already pee too much. Shouldn't I drink less water? And it makes total sense to think that way. But here's the twist. Drinking too little water during the day actually makes the problem worse. If your body gets dehydrated, especially in the evening, your kidneys kick into high gear when you lie down. That's because they're trying to clean up all the salt and waste your body built up while being underhydrated. So your bladder gets bossy at night. The trick is to drink enough water, but earlier in the day. Get your fluids in during the morning and afternoon, then start tapering off after dinner. Try to stop drinking anything about 2 to 3 hours before bed. That includes tea, soup, and even that glass of milk you might love before sleep. It's not about cutting fluids, it's about timing them right. Think of it like giving your bladder a break before bedtime, so it doesn't wake you up demanding attention in the middle of the night. Next, let's talk about your feet. Yep, your feet. Ever notice they swell a bit by the end of the day? That's because, as we age, circulation slows down. Fluids settle in the legs and feet, especially if you sit a lot or aren't as active in the evenings. But when you lie down at night, gravity no longer holds those fluids down, so they move up into your bloodstream, through your kidneys, and boom, your bladder gets full. That's why those bathroom trips hit hardest during the first few hours of sleep. A simple fix: elevate your legs in the evening. About an hour or two before bed, try lying down with your feet propped up on a couple of pillows. Let gravity do its thing before bedtime, not during. This can help reduce how much extra fluid your body sends to the bladder once you're asleep. And it doesn't have to be fancy. Just make it part of your evening routine. Sit back, read a book, or watch your favorite old show with your legs comfortably elevated. It's easy, it's relaxing, and your bladder will thank you. Now, I want to bring up a topic that might make you raise an eyebrow, but stick with me here. Let's talk about caffeine. You'd be amazed how many people still enjoy a cup of tea or even coffee in the late afternoon or after dinner. And why not? It's cozy, it's familiar, and it feels like home. But caffeine is a sneaky little rascal. It doesn't just give you energy, it also stimulates your kidneys and acts as a diuretic. That means it makes you pee more. Even if you don't drink coffee at night, think about that chocolate treat after dinner or that strong cup of black tea at 6 p.m. That could be just enough caffeine to get your bladder buzzing. So here's the move: start swapping out caffeine after 2 p.m. Try herbal teas instead. Chamomile, rooibos, or ginger tea won't just keep your bladder calm. They can help you relax and even fall asleep faster. You don't have to give up your evening rituals. You just have to tweak them a bit. It's about staying cozy without your bladder calling the shots. And if we're being honest, a big part of this whole issue is just the body trying to talk to us in its own way. Sometimes it's whispering, sometimes it's yelling, but the message is clear. It needs a little more care, a little more rhythm, a little more balance. And the beautiful part is, you don't need to do anything extreme. You don't need to flip your life upside down. You just need to start tuning into what works for you, gently and consistently. So far, we've looked at drinking smarter, propping up those legs, and swapping out that sneaky caffeine. These might seem like small things, but isn't it funny how the small things are often the biggest game changers? Let's keep going. There's more to explore, more simple ways to give your nights back the peace they deserve. Now that we've started tuning in to what our body's trying to tell us, let's talk about something just as powerful: movement. Not exercise in the run a marathon kind of way. I'm talking gentle, daily motion. Your muscles, your circulation, your bladder, heck, even your mood, are all begging for it. You see, when we don't move enough during the day, fluid tends to stagnate. It builds up, and come nighttime, all that extra fluid gets processed while you're lying in bed. Which leads to, you guessed it, nighttime bathroom trips. But when you move more during the day, especially in the early evening, you help your body regulate fluid naturally. Think of it like stirring a pot. It keeps everything moving smoothly so nothing settles where it shouldn't. This doesn't mean joining a gym or sweating buckets. A 20-minute walk after dinner, slow stretches while watching TV, or even light chores like sweeping or watering your plants can do wonders. The key is to keep things flowing before bedtime, not once you're under the covers. Movement helps drain your legs, signals your kidneys to process fluids earlier, and even supports your digestion. And when your body feels more in rhythm during the day, your nights become calmer. Now, while we're on the topic of rhythm, let's talk about sugar. I know no one likes hearing this, but hear me out. High blood sugar, especially in the evening, doesn't just mess with your energy and weight. It also affects your bladder. When your blood sugar levels spike, your kidneys try to get rid of the excess glucose through urine. That's why people with diabetes often experience frequent urination, including at night. But even without diabetes, sugar overload late in the day can still poke at your bladder like a mischievous toddler. That dessert after dinner, that sweetened tea before bed, or even that innocent-looking granola bar can keep your kidneys on night shift duty. What helps? Start reading those labels, yes, but also try swapping in fruit with natural sweetness. Berries, bananas, even a few dates are easier on your bladder than processed sugar. And trust me, once you start easing off the evening sugar, your sleep can improve more than you expect. Something else that often flies under the radar: the temperature of your bedroom. Most people don't realize how much it matters. When you sleep in a room that's too warm, your body works harder to cool down. That can make you sweat more, lose fluids, and ironically, stimulate thirst or the urge to urinate during the night. On the flip side, if your room's too cold, your bladder can get a bit overactive. It's weird, but science backs this up. Cold can actually trigger the urge to go, even when you don't really need to. Try to keep your bedroom cool, but not freezing. Somewhere between 65 to 68 degrees F is the sweet spot for most people. Wear breathable clothing, Keep your socks on if your feet get chilly, and maybe crack a window if your room feels stuffy. A comfortable body temperature equals deeper, more stable sleep, and fewer wake-up calls from your bladder. Oh, and here's a tip that sounds too simple to be true, but stay with me. Go to the bathroom twice before bed. I mean it, empty your bladder, then brush your teeth, maybe do your nighttime routine, then go one more time before your head hits the pillow. It's called double voiding, and it works. Sometimes we think we've emptied everything, but a little can still remain. That small leftover amount can fill up just enough to wake you later. By going twice, even just 10 or 15 minutes apart, you're giving yourself a better shot at uninterrupted sleep. And can we take a moment to just acknowledge something? If you're watching this, it means you care. You care enough about your well-being to be here, learning, reflecting, trying. That's no small thing. A lot of people your age give up or think this is just how it is now, but you're looking for answers. And that says everything about your strength, your curiosity, your fight. So keep going. You're not just trying to sleep better. You're taking your nights and your peace back, and that matters. Let's keep building on that momentum. These little shifts, your hydration timing, elevating those legs, cutting caffeine, getting movement, watching sugar, adjusting your sleep environment, they're all puzzle pieces. Each one brings you closer to quieter nights and deeper rest, so let's keep this going strong. There are still a couple more surprising daily habits that can really seal the deal for better sleep and a more peaceful bladder. We've covered a lot already: hydration timing, moving more, cutting down on caffeine and sugar, even adjusting your bedroom temperature and doing a little bladder double. Check before bed. But now let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: your pelvic floor. Yep, that group of muscles that sits right beneath your bladder, quietly doing its job day in and day out until it doesn't. The truth is, after the age of 70, the pelvic floor tends to weaken, especially if you've had kids, surgeries, or a more sedentary lifestyle over the years. And when those muscles are weak, the bladder gets, well, a bit bossy, like a toddler who suddenly has no rules. But here's the good news: you can strengthen that muscle group in just a few minutes a day, and you don't need a gym or any equipment. The magic word here is Kegels. You've probably heard the term tossed around before, but maybe brushed it off as not for me, or too late now. Nah, it's not too late. In fact, this is exactly the age where it matters most. All you do is squeeze those muscles as if you're trying to stop the flow of urine, hold it for a few seconds, and release. That's one rep. Do about 10-15 reps a few times a day while brushing your teeth, watching TV, sitting at a red light. Nobody can see you doing them. Your secret weapon, and the result: a bladder that listens to you, not the other way around. Now, while we're tuning in to the body, let's take a second to zoom in on something even more subtle: stress. Yup, stress is sneaky. Even in retirement, even when the house is quieter, stress can still be living rent free in your mind. Financial concerns, health issues, loneliness, the weight of memories. It all adds up. And one of the places it shows up: the bladder. When we're anxious, the body goes into fight or flight mode. Muscles tighten, adrenaline kicks in, and just like that, the bladder becomes more active. It's a primal response. So what helps? Bringing in a few calming rituals in the evening. Try deep breathing before bed. A warm bath with Epsom salts, soft music, prayer, stretching, guided meditation. Even just 5 minutes of intentional calm can reduce the nervous signals to your bladder. And here's something most people forget: your mind affects your bladder. If your mind is calm, your bladder follows. If your thoughts are racing, your bladder might think there's a race it needs to join. Lastly, let's talk about routine. Not the kind you stick on a calendar, but the gentle rhythm of your day. Your body loves routine. It thrives on it. When you wake up, when you eat, when you move, and when you sleep, keeping those things consistent sends strong signals to your internal clock. That includes your kidneys and bladder. If you're going to bed at 9 p.m. one night and 1 a.m. the next, your body never gets into a rhythm. It keeps guessing, and it usually guesses wrong. Try this. For a week, wake up and go to bed around the same time every day. Eat your meals on a regular schedule. Take your evening walk at a consistent hour. And notice how your body starts to fall into a groove. Sleep becomes easier. Bathroom trips become more predictable. Your whole system, from top to bottom, begins to trust the process. And isn't that what we're all searching for at this stage in life? Peace, trust, ease. You've done the hard parts. You've survived the storms. Now's the time to live with gentleness, with grace, with nights that feel restful and mornings that feel light. Let's just pause and acknowledge something big. You made it this far in the video. That means you're not giving up. You're taking steps. You're showing up for yourself. And that's a kind of strength most people don't talk about. These 7 habits aren't magic spells. They're not overnight fixes. But when you put them into practice day by day, they build something better than a quick fix. They build a foundation. For sleep, for calm, for healing. So here's what I want you to remember. You are not broken. You are not too old to change. You're wiser now, and you've got the time, the knowledge, and the power to shift your nights from restless to restful. Let's keep this community growing. If anything in this video helped you, even just one tip, drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Maybe tell us what you've tried before, or what you're excited to change. Your story could help someone else too. Don't forget to hit that like button if this video brought you peace, and subscribe for more practical, powerful tips to help you live your best years with health, joy, and confidence. Sleep is not a luxury, it's your birthright. So tonight, may you rest deeply, wake refreshed, and feel proud of the small steps you're taking. Because little by little, you're creating a life that honors the strength you've carried all along. Here's to quiet nights, strong bladders, and living fully at any age.